So today we're gonna be reacting to why becoming a YouTuber is not what you think. Well, I don't know, bro. Can he really change our minds on what we want to be? My whole life, just like every other kid, YouTube was what we all wanted to be. So what are we missing? What is the dark truth? Can you guys please make sure to like and subscribe if you can, bro? And if you don't do that, bro, obviously I'm gonna find you and handle the situation accordingly. In GTA, of course.
I'm a bit scared to make this video. People have been warning me not to do it, but I feel like I have to explain why I believe that YouTube and its parent company Google are deeply problematic. And to explain why I say that, you first need to see some mind-blowing data on just how extremely powerful YouTube actually is.
No.
YouTube is the world's second most visited webpage. Only its parent company Google is more visited. The average American spends almost 50 minutes per day watching YouTube. In South Korea and Thailand, people spend close to an hour and a half on YouTube, and that's just on their phones. 2.7 billion people, or a third of everyone alive today, log into YouTube every month. YouTube is the closest thing we've ever had to a global broadcaster, and it's even more important among young people. Only 1%.
I look at that. Bro, I low-key thought YouTube fell off. He's talking about 50 minutes a day? No way, bro. Unless it's just scrolling YouTube shorts. I feel like everybody just use TikTok now, bro. Nobody really... Apparently, they all watch YouTube on the TV. What? On the TV?
US teenagers
it really did change. You're right, bro. You're right.
And a third of kids between 8 and 12, including my nephews, say they want to become YouTubers, compared to just 11% who say they want to be astronauts. So think about that. Kids today, they don't say they want to make films or be actors or be on television. No, they say they want to make videos for this one American company from Silicon Valley. We wouldn't call Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things a Netflixer. And we don't call Billie Eilish a Spotifyer. And we certainly don't call Jimmy Fallon an NBCer. But Jimmy Donaldson, PewDiePie or Mark Rober, they are all called so-called YouTubers. As online video creators, big and small, we're all...
What else we gonna call them, bro? That's the job, is you YouTubing, just like Billy, the job is singing. Yeah,
so dependent on this one company that people even call us by its name, YouTubers. And maybe you're thinking, okay, so YouTube is powerful. So what? A lot of companies are powerful. But I argue that YouTube's power is different. And that has to do with its parent company, Google.
Content creators. No, that name is trash. Content creators. No, please. I'm good. No, thank you. I said I'm good. Thank you. YouTuber. Oh, yes. Give me.
Advertising is one of the world's greatest business models ever created.
Who's giving you that name?
Business, cigarettes or drugs could rival these economics. We've essentially been able to ignore one of the fundamental laws of economics. Supply and demand. We could essentially tear the economics textbook in half.
What is he talking about?
Company in the world.
And
what does this mean? What does this mean? I gotta rewatch this. A Google executive actually said this in an internal memo revealed by the against Google.
One of the world's greatest business models ever created. Illicit business, cigarettes or drugs, could rival these economics. We've essentially been able to ignore one of the fundamental laws of economics. Supply and demand. We could essentially tear the economics textbook in half.
Peter Thiel? He with the cigs and drugs? I thought he was supporting what's his name? Clav. What the hell? This guy is ancient. What the hell? This guy is a celestial dragon, bro. He gotta go. I ain't gonna lie. And I heard he was talking about One Piece. Yo, bro, we do not rock with you, big homie. We do not rock with you, big homie. You gonna have to kick rocks, bro. This is not your playground, bro. You gotta go to the other school. For him, affordable? Yes, bro. This is affordable. Look at drugs and cigarettes. Is that not like $10?
Google, it's probably the most dominant company in the world.
This is Nicholas Jackson, investigative journalist, author, and fellow at the Harvard Kennedy School. Nicholas has written extensively about Google's power, and he co-authored this paper, Google's Hidden Empire, that presented new unreported data on Google's vast economic power.
It's a great big conglomerate, but all the parts are kind of interconnected. There's the Android operating system on 70% of phones around the world. There's the Chrome browser, 70% market share. There's Google Search, 90% market share. There's YouTube, there's Google Maps, there's sort of self-driving cars, there's Google Classroom, there's Google AI, Gemini, which is becoming increasingly powerful.
Alphabet Inc., as the conglomerate is formally called, owns hundreds of businesses, all of which earn a ton of revenue.
What is Alphabet Inc.?
In sales revenues last year, like $400 billion worldwide.
Okay, but it's like, okay, who else would be Google if Google wasn't Google? You know what I'm saying? You guys are... I was born, Google was already here. It's the standard, you feel me? So y'all gotta just respect the big dog, bro. Stop hating on the big dog for having the cheese just because you don't got the cheese. You could get the cheese.
The US defense budget is about $800 billion, so that's annual revenue worth half the US defense budget, and its profitability is...
Google makes half the defense budget? Why is the defense budget at $1 trillion? That's the real question. Forget about us. They spending money. We making money, bro. Come on, man.
Exceptionally high.
If we look at volume of profits, Google is the world's biggest company. No other company...
Nvidia got $120 billion off AI? Oh, what happens when that plummets, bro? You're not even going to be top 5.
Makes as much money in profits.
So it's a company with an awful lot of money to spend, and it spends a lot of that on making sure that it preserves its monopoly. It is a monopolist, and it's very dominant in lots of different areas.
So how does Google spend money to preserve its dominance?
Well, but saying Google is a monopoly is like saying Steam is a monopoly. No, dude, it's just who it are, bro. It's just who it are. That's just big homie, dude.
Well, as I explained in one of the very first videos that I made on this channel, dominant firms have two very powerful ways in which they can protect their dominance. And that's by devouring competition and by crushing competition.
Yes.
And Google has used both of these techniques to protect YouTube's dominance. Here's how. Many believe that Google is great at inventing things, but after Google invented its search engine, almost all of its success actually comes from companies it has bought, not from things that it has invented. Compared to the other big tech firms, Google stands out with having invested in almost 6...
Remember Dailymotion? Yeah, I used to watch the Thunderman on there. It was trash, though. We don't like no Dailymotion. It was always trash. They just... I'm glad they fell off. I'm actually so glad because they did not deserve to even have motion, bro. Them ninjas was trash. If they had that on YouTube, I would have been on YouTube, bro. They so lucky they had the garbage. I mean, they had the episodes and stuff. But then they wouldn't even have, like, the whole episode. It was trash.
1,000 companies.
Sometimes it would...
Or maybe I didn't even watch it on there. I think I got clickbaited. They said they had it on there, and then they didn't even have it. That's what I think it was. But I don't remember. It was so long ago. I could be hating on accident. Who knows?
Buy these companies in order to build them up into something that enabled it to have a big business there. Sometimes it would... Very often it would...
Yo, his keyboard is dirty, bro. And it's a stain on the screen. It's actually distracting, bro. Hold on, bro. You gotta clean your keyboard,
dude. And in
fact,
there's a website called Killed by Google that just shows hundreds of companies that Google has bought and just kind of left by the waysides.
Google actually had its own video platform, Google Video, but instead of trying to use it to compete with YouTube, Google bought YouTube and killed off its own video service. But Google has...
Wait, Google Video was a free video? What? Similar to YouTube, and then they bought YouTube. Imagine Google didn't own YouTube, though. Like, then we wouldn't even want to be YouTubers for real. So, like, again, bro, Google is Thanos, bro. They're doing a necessary evil. It's not even evil. It's really justice.
Not only used devouring tactics to protect YouTube, it has also been up to a lot of crushing in order to protect YouTube. Google has, for example, required phone manufacturers to pre-install YouTube on Android devices as a condition for accessing Google's Play Store, which effectively puts YouTube on 70% of the world's smartphones.
Okay, but if Google owned Android, duh, they gonna put their product on their phone. Duh, that's their phone, bit, bro. If you gonna use my operating system, you gonna use my products that come with it, bit, bro. It's called exchange. No, it's got to be a deeper word for that.
This obviously
somebody knows out
way
there
harder
what the word
for competitors
to
gain a foothold. Google has manipulated search results in Google so that YouTube videos are more likely to come up than videos from rival.
Like, who eats vegan? And then Billie Eilish gonna talk about you either love animals and you don't eat meat, or you eat meat and you don't love animals. Oh my god. Yo, bro. Nobody loves why do we have to love animals? That's the real question. They serve us. They here to feed me. What do animals... If we didn't eat animals, something else would have came and ate them. You know what I'm saying? And they was gonna die regardless. And we could eat them to survive even long and stay healthy and stuff like that. So it's like you trying so hard to be a good person, you slowly becoming dumb when you could just be smart and realize animals are here to serve you, bro. You have to eat the chicken. You have to eat the chicken. Billie Eilish, you have to eat the chicken. Think about it, bro. If that chicken dies and you don't eat it, and I don't eat it, and nobody eats it, that was useless, bro. He died for no reason. Are you gonna let him die for no reason? That means you actually hate him. If you love animals, you would kill him and eat them like a real person.
Platforms, and Google has abused its dominance of the entire digital advertising stack, which makes it very hard for competitors to YouTube to earn sufficient ad revenues. In the end, Google has been so successful at devouring and crushing YouTube's competitors that there is no real alternative to YouTube. Vessel, Yahoo Screen, Blip TV, Vimeo, Rumble, Dailymotion, all the companies.
Rumble was supposed to be a competitor, and then it just went too far right wing, bro. And then it's like, and everybody else don't want to be on it, bro. When you too far in one direction, I'm sorry, we good, bro. I'm sorry. If you don't eat some random animal, probably eating the chicken. Exactly. That's what you have. Like, if lions are gonna eat the gazelle, is the lion evil for eating the gazelle? Come on, Billie Eilish, think. Is the lion evil for eating the gazelle, or is that just life? And these animals are lesser to us. You acting like you eating a fellow human. You acting like animals got feelings. When have an animal ever have feelings? They don't even have consciousness for real, dude. He don't know he here. He know he about to get eaten or have to eat. You feel me? Daily Motion, yeah, you fell off. Rumble, told you, like, you could just say slurs. It's like Kick, bro. Kick is never gonna beat Twitch because it's too degenerate. Vimo, I don't remember that. Blip, I mean, I remember the name. I don't remember being on it. Blip, never heard of you. Yahoo had something. Yahoo. I know the CEO of Yahoo hates YouTube. I mean Google, because they got Gmail, and then you apparently had a video site, and that's gone too. I would be so mad unless they pay me billions. But even then, like, I would still be mad because like they stole your whole flow, bro. Vessel, you was irrelevant from the start. You deserve to die in GTA.
Companies that have tried to properly rival YouTube have failed. So today, viewers and creators, we're all stuck using YouTube. We don't have a proper...
We're not stuck, dude. Don't ever use that word when you talk about my glorious platform, bro. You don't know what this means to me right here, bro. You was not watching Tanner Fox and his Nissan GTR. You wasn't watching, bro. Like, I'm about to get mad.
Alternative.
You don't want to see me get mad.
And maybe some of you are asking, so what?
That's what I was asking. Thank you. How YouTube exploits both me and you.
This is Adam Smith, the philosopher often described as the father of capitalism. Already in the 18th century, when capitalism was about to take over the world, Adam realized that capitalism comes in two forms. One we can call competitive capitalism, where firms compete against each other for customers, which lead to lower prices, higher quality, and innovation. And another we can call crony capitalism, where some firms grow so powerful they can exploit everyone who depends on them. If Adam Smith were alive today and looked at the big tech giants and their astronomical profits...
That's what I think. Like, yeah, capitalism is good until it's not good. Until the greedy get too greedy. You know what I'm saying? But if capitalism stayed at that equilibrium, bro, we could, like, life would be so good, bro. I'm telling you, we just gotta get it to the equilibrium. But then at the same time, it's like, if I'm able to, like, get more, I'm gonna get more. Like, realistically, that's just what I would do, and that's obviously what they would do, and that's what they did.
Political lobbying and toxic products. I think we all know which of the two capitalisms Adam
Imagine
Smith
being a
would say that
billionaire.
they represent.
I need that.
YouTube is an excellent example of the type of firm that we can get on the crony capitalism. Because you as a viewer have no real alternative to YouTube, YouTube can exploit you. And
actually, this is wrong because now we actually give our attention to TikTok. That's why they try to make YouTube Shorts to compete, but YouTube Shorts does not compete with TikTok. So I know YouTube CEO is thinking to himself, how do we compete? Plus, they got to compete with Twitch at the same time, but they're not doing that either. So all they got is video. These bums are trash.
It does so in at least two
And I'm telling
ways.
you, no one watches long
First of all,
all our brains
shoves
are rotted.
targeted
YouTube,
advertising
I know you
down
going
your
through
throat
turmoil
with the help of something called dynamic ad load that uses machine learning to calculate how many ads you will sit through before you leave. And YouTube has no competitors to constrain this behavior.
And I heard Mr. Beast views down because they're trying to promote shorts more. Beer bro.
Second, and this is something that many fail to realize, What
Or he
you see
fell
on
off, I don't
YouTube
know.
is
But he
completely
still get 8
determined by
million, so who
YouTube's
knows?
recommendation algorithm, and that algorithm maximizes watch time. YouTube does not recommend videos that you are the most likely to enjoy and get value from. YouTube only shows you videos that are the most likely to get you to watch the longest. And if you happen to like the videos, that's just a happy byproduct. And that matters a lot because YouTube is not guiding people towards the best or most relevant content, it's pulling people deeper into whatever keeps them watching. And researchers have found that this often means that people end up watching more and more radical material. And just the other week, a jury in Los Angeles ruled in a groundbreaking case that YouTube was deliberately engineered to be addictive. Furthermore, YouTube exploits its power not only against you as a viewer, but also against me as a creator.
No.
So YouTube today offers creators 55% of ad revenue from their videos on YouTube,
Damn, that's
while it
it?
takes 45% to itself. And maybe this sounds fair, but it's actually really unfair for two reasons.
First of all, do you believe them when they give you a percentage? They have all the information, 45%, 55% of what? There's a famous thing called Hollywood accounting where I think the actor who played Darth Vader ended up getting such a tiny amount of money out of the first Star Wars film.
The Return of the Jedi earned $475 million
Nobody
on a
watches Star Wars,
$32
bro.
million budget. But despite being that profitable, David Prowse, who played Darth Vader, says, "I get these occasional letters from Lucasfilm saying that
We regret to inform you that as Return of the Jedi has never gone into profit, we've got nothing to send you."
What?
Secondly, why isn't Google just offering 90%? They can easily afford it. The cost of their machine, it is substantial cost, but the revenues they get out of their data is absolutely enormous. Again, think back to that 400 billion. Where is all that money coming from? And, a third of that as just pure profit. But because they are dominant and there's no other platform, you have to use YouTube, they can just decide whatever share they want to give you.
So YouTube exploits both you as a viewer and me as a creator. But the problem with Google's power is actually much bigger than that.
It is a company that we really need to start worrying about. It also has geopolitical power. I mean, it is an American company. Now you have Donald Trump exerting all sorts of power over the big tech firms. And if he wants to order Google to do something in Europe or Australia or Canada or Africa, he can use that as a geopolitical arm of his personal power to do things that we don't like.
That's interesting, man. That is so interesting.
To be honest, I am a bit conflicted. I rely on YouTube. This video is on YouTube. My audience that I've spent years trying to build exists on YouTube. So should I really be complaining about YouTube?
No,
Well, I believe that when companies like Google are shitifying our internet and turning our economy into crony capitalism, we cannot just stay silent.
Yes,
But
we
is
can,
there
bro.
anything we can do more than just complain? Well, not much individually, I'm afraid, because the only entity that is strong enough to take on a company like Google is the state. And the good news is that some governments have started doing that. There are ongoing
chill, bro. Because if they try to get YouTube and they're already trying to get Roblox, where do we go? You know what I'm saying? Maybe them having a control on the economy is a good thing, bro. We gotta let them slide so we
that
can
could,
keep what we can
for the
keep.
first time,
What
force
I'm watching?
Google
Just
to
some
break
YouTube.
up. And until then, there is one small act of resistance that is available to all of us. We could all decide right now to stop using the word YouTuber.
No, chill, bro. I need that title. One day I want to have that. That's mine. Give me that. That's mine. I need that on my. Read the badge. That's what I am. Yes, sir. That's what I. Don't take
say
that
you
from
want
me.
to become a YouTuber. Say you want to become a filmmaker.
No, nobody wants to make films. It's 2027, bro. I want to be Tanner Fox. No, Tanner Fox. Tanner Fox. No, this channel doesn't have content. What? Why would he do this? Don't say good riddance, bro. You don't understand, bro. Tanner Fox will wake up, bro, and then he'd go to his warehouse and he'd be on his little his scooter, and then he have his GTR. Oh, wow. And he had the 10 million play button. Oh my god, I never wanted to be somebody so bad in my life, bro. Never watched him, bro. And he had, bro, and his girl was so bad too. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Yo, I feel bad for Banks, low key, cause like, damn, Banks is not lying when he said, when I used to get on camera, everyone used to spam W Aura, and now they all clowning him saying he corny, bro. Yo, Banks, you not wrong, bro. I'm not gonna lie, you not wrong. That you was that. You know what I'm saying? You was Big Banks.